Justice Sotomayor?
Your last concession, doesn't that suggest, even if there is some error here, that you've admitted some liability potentially when you say there was one single person home involved?
Well,
because that would seem to me the clear example of Justice Jackson's hypothetical, which is if I'm a gun dealer and I'm selling to someone who says to me, I'm going to kill my wife with this gun, I think the common law would say, you knew what he was going to do with the gun, you joined in. Why isn't your continuing to provide internet service the same?
Well, so a couple of answers, Your Honor.
When you know that that particular location is going to continue to infringe.
So a couple of answers. I certainly didn't concede that there would be liability. I said of the top recidivists, there was only one single family home. We still don't know the identity of the—
Why does that matter?
Excuse me?
Meaning, if you know that a particular location and someone in it is committing a crime and you're supplying to that person and perhaps others, it doesn't matter what the others are doing, but you know some person in that home is infringing, why aren't you participating by giving them the tool to infringe?
Well, because, Your Honor, that it needs to be an act that unequivocally demonstrates
Why?
a purpose.
You're thinking of Betamax, but in Betamax, it was a piece of equipment where the seller had no continuing connection to the equipment. You sold the equipment, somebody could use it legitimately or not, you couldn't control them. But here, you have control over the instrument of infringement.
Your Honor, I'm not just talking about the Sony case. Grokster reiterated the same point. Twitter, if the rule was that that the rule is different if there's an ongoing relationship, then Twitter would have come out differently. By the way, so direct sales underscores that point too, and that was 80 years ago. That is part of the—
What it said was these people were selling something that they knew this doctor would be using illegally. He would be prescribing or not prescribing. He would be giving away drugs not in accordance with medical standards.
No, Your Honor.
So how is that different from this situation?
This court explained in Smith & Wesson why it's different, and that was, and it said explicitly, it was not just that there was an ongoing relationship.
Now, you can't win on Smith & Wesson because the Smith & Wesson, the manufacturer sold to dealers, who in turn sold to individuals, to individual gun stores. But all right, thank you, counsel.
Can I just answer the question, though? I'm not citing Smith & Wesson answer to your question. I'm citing Smith & Wesson for its analysis of direct sales. And what the court said in Smith & Wesson about direct sales was ongoing wasn't enough. It was the stimulation of further sales and treating that buyer differently from others. That was the key that created culpability.
Justice Kagan?